Special work session meeting of March 6, 2017 to order. We do have a quorum. For the quorum, individuals may address the City Council about items on or not on the agenda. Speakers are required to state their name and address for council records and limit the remarks to 3 minutes or less. Speakers are requested to frame their comment around items that fall within the authority of the City Council. Generally, the City Council will not take official action on items discussed at this time, but may place the item on file, take the matter under advisement, refer the matter to a staff or committee for future report, or direct the matter to be placed on an upcoming agenda. Anyone wish to speak?
Yep.
Go ahead, name and address.
My name is Michael Joseph Hawkins. I live at 301 Little Street Southeast, lot 221. Could somebody please tell me why we have aluminum carbon dioxide in the water and why does it bubble? That's because carbon dioxide. Also, the water I purchased at the local store has the same thing in it. Why does the city still contend that they cannot go private property, which they stated 12/19/2016 when I was here? When I have videos and pictures of said city workers working on the water tank, working on the hydrant. And at that time, I was told by this gentleman here, the bleach was going into the hydrant to clean water heaters. Which is ironic because 2 days later they flushed that same hydrant out 60 feet. That water doesn't go into the park. It's only there for fire. You lied to me. I've never had an official bold-faced lie to me on hydrants on an issue like that. You did, sir. That water going in the hydrant, that you saw the picture of the bleach, was for the hydrant. That did not go in the park. You said for 44 trailers. Has nothing to do with the park.
Our line goes to the hydrant, and then there's a separate line that goes over to the water meter for the park. From the water meter into the park is a private water line.
Then why was the hydrant flushed 2 days later?
Because you had concerns about that, we went over to it to make sure and verify that it was.
You flushed it because of the fact that the city gets too much chlorine in it and turns an ultraviolet purple. They turn around and have people come out and flush it because people in town complain too much chlorine. And they're done that, they did in 2014. Now, I can't believe that all this hassle with me has been over the water. So the other thing I have to look at is this. Is it because of the water, the field where we live at, or the burial grounds which across the street? This doesn't make any sense. And if anybody up here has any questions about the research I've done on this, aluminum over a 10-year period gives you end up with early dementia. There was a study done by Oxford. It was a study with 2 towns. One had aluminum, the other one did not. The one that had the aluminum had a 65% chance, more so, of people with early developmental dementia in a 10-year period. All that, thousands of pounds of aluminum going in the water on the 8 wells. I got it numbered down. One well had, for a time run, in a 30-day period, 1 hour, 10 minutes. Another well, on the same numbers, had a 10-minute run. The other one's 275. And not like that, you have to publish when this is done what chemicals go in. Where is February's PDF? I found every other one, but February's is not there. You want us to trust you. And at the same time, you have to kind of trust us too. I know what I'm talking about. You guys know this. You know damn well I know what I'm talking about. The aluminum and all this other junk, why? The city's clear to dirty water. Now, I turn around and take that water.
Time's up, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Yes, I would. At your last public hearing on January 17th,
Name and address for council records, please.
of Robin Hensel, 807 First Street Southeast, the most colorful house in town. At your last public hearing on January 17th, 2017, you allowed Sue Kester and Bruce Mahler to speak for almost 6 minutes uninterrupted. Even though your public hearing procedure states, if you wish to speak, raise your hand or stand, the council president or chairperson will recognize you. Typically, individuals will be allowed up to 2 minutes and should be germane and concise. The further shall not exceed 2 times with a maximum of 2 appearances. Just a little while ago, at the last public hearing, the mayor of this city obviously doesn't know the rules of the public hearings, which are right here on the table by me. He rudely interrupted and told Teresa Scorset that he wasn't going to allow her to speak because he thought she had exceeded her time limit. Not true. The public hearing that was supposed to be in the board meeting at the county with the County Board of Commissioners was moved somehow. Even though it was published in the paper that it was going to be in the boardroom, it was held in meeting room number 1 in the basement. I asked a couple people how they found out about that. They really didn't have a very good answer. But our Morrison County Record, the official city newspaper, got it wrong. That matters. Unless there was some kind of a notice as to where else that meeting was to be held, I believe it had violated the open meeting law. I want to remind these people in attendance tonight from a Morrison County article, June 14th of 2013. Here's our take on what to do about Hensel. We offer suggestions about first what not to do and then what to do. Whether you whether you agree with her or not, she has a right to speak on the issues of the day. Knowledge is power and members need to learn what it can and cannot do under the law. All the council has to do is treat her the same as it would any other citizen acting the same way. Apply the same or similar rules to any city board or commission, then apply the rules uniformly. And I'm going to suggest that because this city council made an exception at the last hearing, that you have to, unless you're ready to get sued again, allow every single person speaking in a public hearing going forward 6 minutes, the same as you did for Bruce Mahler and Sue Kester, uninterrupted, if I might add. If you don't, you're going to be violating every single person's right to free speech. And guess who would be the first to sue? Thank you.
Go figure. Anyone else wish to speak?
Sorry.
Anyone else wish to speak? Hearing none, we'll move on to regular items. Capital improvement plan. Oh, sorry. Bill discussion. Brad, you had some questions?
Did I want to find a spot highlighted here?
I'm good.
Annual hardware maintenance.
For BMP,
Yes, there was there for a couple spots.
right, we get billed once a year for that, and it's for computer hardware, printers. Most of the work is done at the police department and here at City Hall, so that's how we split it up. But he also does work at the water plant, the waste plant, golf course. Whenever we have hardware issues, that's the person we call.
I guess I was just wondering, do we ever check with the other computer places in town for prices?
We haven't. Part of it is that we have purchased the equipment through him, and it's the continuity and consistency of having somebody that works with it all the time to know what's going on. He works with, our Outlook, our email. I believe he's certified through the state because at the police department they have a lot of their stuff goes through the state and the RMS system and everything, and he has to be certified in order to do that. Mike's, in my opinion, pretty responsive in getting things done. I know we've had some issues with the laptops that have taken some time to resolve, but I don't know that there's anybody else in town that would be able to provide the service he provides.
I was just curious
Yeah.
because I thought Design Electronics has a pretty good group of people as well. They're more than one person.
Yeah. We can certainly explore those
I just
issues.
didn't know if it's something we ever
Yep.
chatted about.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions on bills? Questions on the consent?
I did have a question, and my highlights disappeared evidently when I saved it. I thought I saw a spot where there was a desk. in both of those.
Yes, that was for my desk. It was included in the budget. We will request reimbursement through our cooperative purchasing contracts.
That was the NJPA thing.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else?
I have a question.
Okay.
Minnesota Power, 228, there's January, February, $50.05, and then right below it, 228, 250. How come they have two bills?
Emergency management.
What does that mean? Emergency management.
It's just the fund that we're using, emergency management, civil defense. It's segregated from the fire department because we get some grant, we received some other funding
Right,
sources for that.
and I'm just gonna look at this real quick. Oh, one of them is gonna be for the sirens and the other one is going to be for the 800 megahertz.
Any other questions? Capital improvement plan?
Yeah, in your packet this evening, we've got a couple of items for the airport. The first is the capital improvement plan. With change in council and change in the county board, I wanted to make sure that the council is still on board and with the same route that we're planning on going in terms of paving the crosswind runway and relocation of the crosswind runway at the airport. As you can see in the packet, I've got the 5-year capital improvement plan listed in terms of what projects we're looking at. Looking forward in terms of what that means for a budget expense. Right now we have about $67,000 in the balance for our improvement fund. We get money every year from the FAA for the airport to use, and then we match that with our local dollars. So if you look on the right-hand side, you can see the local share over the next 5 years is about $240,000. That's split 50-50 with the county. So the city's component is about $120,000. And I guess before we started moving forward with a lot of these contracts, I want to make sure that the board is okay with the direction that we're looking at going. We did a study, an economic impact study at the airport, and the economic impact that the airport has on the local community is about $600,000 per year. So I believe it is in our best interest to move forward with that crosswind runway, but just knowing that we will be spending some funds here in the near future on upgrading that crosswind runway to be able to accommodate more flights throughout the year.
Questions for Greg on the airport?
Seems like a lot of work done for our share of it.
True. We've been working on the crosswind for about 20 years now, and we're really getting to a point where we're going to be able to start seeing some dirt returned. We got most of the environmental stuff cleared up, making sure that we can go ahead with it. We're going to see on the agenda tonight that we've got an environmental assessment update, but otherwise, yeah, we're very close to being able to get that thing moving forward and get something under construction.
Greg and I may have missed it, because you talk about it all the time. But Brad said what we've had to pay compared to what the state, we have, I don't even know what the percentage is federal. Like
Generally, it's
95 or
Generally, it's a 90-10 split, and recently, because of the budget surplus at the state, the state was kicking in 5%. So it was 90% federal, 5% state, and then 5% local. Little Falls and Morrison County have a partnership where we split that other 5% of the local share, so our amount is really only 2.5% of the total project cost. And so when you look at how much it's actually going to cost as opposed to how much the city or the local is going to be paying, it's very attractive to do a lot of these projects. And taking into account that there's about $600,000 in economic impact to the city, it again makes sense to go ahead and do these projects. But I just wanted to, again, bring you guys up to speed on where we're at with it, and that we will be asking for additional funds in the next 5 years to make that accomplished.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Engineering and pavilion, Little Falls Arc.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my computer's not being able to project right now, but we are looking at, if you recall, back in 2015, the city got a $25,000 grant from Burlington Northern Santa Fe. Originally, that grant was to go toward the bathroom complex out there in the event that we were going to get a splash pad. Funds have kind of slowed down in terms of fundraising for that, and so right now we have that $25,000 sitting there to be spent. And Burlington Northern has said, we really want you to spend that money and get something done with it, and
I'll bring it up for you, Greg.
okay, and get that completed. So what we were looking at doing, we've talked about this at the park board for a couple of years now, is put up the pavilion there it's not going to have electricity, it's not going to have any of that stuff.
Where is it in the?
It's not in the packet, I have it just on a PowerPoint. I can try it. I'll just talk through here. And so what we were looking at doing is creating a pavilion out there for people to use. And we've confirmed with Burlington Northern that they're fine with going ahead and having that built as opposed to a bathroom facility. They said it's fine to go ahead and build a pavilion. So tonight we will be asking the council to go ahead and approve that. It's essentially a kit where the material will be here. Our staff will have to put it together. That will go towards to the grant as well. Because it's going to be a public space, we have to have a structural engineer approve it. So we've got essentially two contracts with it. One is for the material in the amount of $17,459.13. And the other one is for structural engineering, which is for $1,250. The reason we waited so long is because we were looking at purchasing this off of the state bid. And for whatever reason, the state has been going back and forth in terms of trying to get this contract out. So if the state would have had the bid together last year, we would have requested approval last year, but they just got it done now, so this is why we're bringing it up to the council now.
Questions? What are we expecting for labor to put that thing up?
Our guys in the street department will be able to do it.
I know that our guys are gonna be able to do it, but what kind of dollar amount are we looking at tying to it? We talking 5 hours of labor to put this kit together,
No.
we're talking a couple weeks, and
It'll
you'd
probably
be
be
dead
about
with another 10 grand.
No, it'll probably be about a week's worth of time, but we'll be able to do it within the remaining funds. We've got roughly $6,000 left to put that up. We'll be able to fit that within those funds.
And what about ground prep and all that?
We'll do ground prep. We do have a grant from Knife River for concrete, so the concrete slab will get covered with that. But the ground prep out there is basically taking a skid loader and flattening it. We don't have to do anything special in terms of a concrete base. It's basically a floating slab is what it would be. So that should be pretty easy to do.
Do we have a location where we're planning on going?
We do, and I had that on here, and I'll try and get that. I've got to reboot my computer to do it. You know where the parking lot's at?
Yeah.
Basically adjacent to the parking lot, in between the hydrant and the playground. There'll still be enough room, so if we ever decide to go with a splash pad, we can extend that hydrant or that water line over to the splash pad. But it'll be closer to the parking lot, just so that, you know, if anybody wants to get out of their car and get to it, they don't have to walk through grass and whatever to get over towards that. Kind of where the picnic tables are sitting right now.
Any other questions?
Do you have a picture of the pavilion?
Give me a minute.
Sorry. I really need to see this because I'm not seeing it with your words.
Okay. I mean, I got to
Any
restart
other-
it here.
Any other questions while it's rebooting? We're running short on time tonight.
And if you want, you can jump on to the next item.
Yeah, we can come back to it.
I think what we'll
Ninth
do, if
Street.
it's okay with you, is take 9th Street, move it to the end of the council
regular
meeting,
meeting?
and then gives a little bit more time for garbage, and if it's
Okay.
all right with you, I can, as soon as I get the picture back up, I'll let you know.
Sound good? Garbage discussion, John?
Okay, so I've had conversations with all the haulers since our last meeting. We've had a lot of back and forth with the survey results because of the way we would intend. The way it was read in the survey was that we would intend to provide a system of utilizing carts or bags in combination. You know, either opt into utilizing bags or just utilizing carts. Since then, in that discussion with a couple of the haulers, based on the amount of volume that they would have for those customers, and with potential for a 50-50 split, it was going to create a challenge with how they could function efficiently in their operating costs. So their plan with carts was to invest in a sidearm tipping truck, which could drive down the streets, pick up the cans with a single driver, dump the cans, set the cans back down, move on to the next house. If bags were out there, the sidearm tippers aren't good or efficient at picking up the bags. They would, it'd be really a challenge to do that if the arms that grab them could pinch, rip the bags. that would require the drivers to get out or have another employee on the truck themselves. So that adds to the cost. With that, they would have to get out, pick up the bag, either put it into another can or somehow modify their route so that they're only picking up bags with their existing trucks, thereby having 2 trucks that they have in service and needing to operate and maintain. So with that, in talking about what we potentially have in terms of a price, it was going to create a really difficult situation to make the bags really a cost-effective opportunity for those haulers to supply for our residents. So we would have to likely potentially set the bag price at an amount more than what we originally floated in the survey, and then that price per bag, or how many bags people use per month, would get them to a point at which carts was now the cost-effective means, or else we'd have to raise both of them accordingly to accommodate the system. So it was really a challenge to find a means to incorporate bags into the collection system and still meet that affordability factor. So in this discussion, one of the options or a couple of the options that we talked about are to move it to either have 2 can size options, a small can about 35 gallons, which holds what currently the 30-pound bags would, a single 30-pound bag, and have that available on a weekly pickup, or have some sort of different pickups arrangements based on a time period in the month, either a weekly pickup and a monthly only pickup, as those bag customers have indicated they use less garbage than maybe the average person that uses 1 bag per week. They either recycle more, they compost, they just don't generate as much waste because there isn't as many people in the household. So we're trying to find a means to also accommodate to that. We do have an agreement, and I'm recommending that if we were to move forward with this issue, and I did ask the haulers to be here to answer any questions, that we would have the rate structure set that if we were the lower volume user, either the smaller can user or the once a month user, and I'm advising towards the weekly pickup with the smaller can, would pay $11 of a flat fee for their garbage program, and that the 64-gallon cart user would pay $14.50. So it's a little bit more than what the original amounts were, but it would be a lot closer. Now, we still have some discussions about the total territories and what we have. I have some follow-up that I want to discuss with them that I haven't had the chance to since our last conversations about how we split up those territories, but I really think in order to move this discussion forward, we need to settle on the bags hybrid cart system. I really I've struggled. I've been having a lot of discussions with them and struggling to find out a way to make this effective, and I'm just not getting there. Royalton has a single hauler contract with Waste Management. They have about 400 customers only, so significantly less than what we have in Little Falls. But they have a bag option and then 3 cart size options after that. Waste Management in their contract actually will pick up some bag users. They only have about a dozen or 2 dozen, between a dozen and 2 dozen users. But in order to efficiently operate their system, they're giving those bag customers an actual cart to put the garbage bags in. They still have to go to City Hall in Royalton and buy a garbage bag from them, and they pay a lower rate, but they still they ask them, because they've been given one, a cart to put the garbage in. So
What are their rates per month?
I do have that. Thought I had it in a memo, but
Do they have more than one size cans?
they do. They have a 35-gallon, a 32-gallon, a 64-gallon, and a 96-gallon can. Their prices range from, I believe it's $15 and it's $11 base charge for the bags, It's about 15 instant change for the can, the smallest can, and goes up to about $21 for the largest can. And I did have the exact rates somewhere.
Do they use the same arm to pick up all 3 cans?
Yes, they do. It's the same truck. They have one single hauler that goes around, picks up their gallon, and he has the can picks sideways, and it can vary based on the size of the can. It's pretty intuitive on the system. Knows where the cans are to grab them. I mean, one of the concerns that we had originally with the haulers when they're talking about different can size options was smaller cans tended to be a little bit weaker than the larger cans, but they have the same warranty structure that the larger cans do with the companies that we've researched. So
realistically, they all have 10-year warranties.
they would all have 10 to 12 year warranty.
Get replaced 3 times because they're junk.
So if they would break. No, I was in a meeting with in Royalton, talked to the mayor and their clerk about their program pretty in-depthly. They did say that they were, for some reason this last year, they were having more issues with the can, but Waste Management provides all the carts to people, and they did have a few more than they usually do to replace in the wintertime, but I'm sure for Waste Management, they have millions and millions of carts in cycle, so maybe it was just those were getting to their useful life as well. So, but our vendors are confident that they're confident in their warranty, and that the issues that Royalton saw, if they would break in that matter, that it would be covered.
John, wasn't there discussions with the haulers previously about possibly doing a hybrid with the bags? And that's why we did the survey, because unfortunately I'm going to have to go back to what I've said numerous times is we should never ask a question we don't want to give the answer to. And a lot of the residents that have approached me in the store regarding the bags, it's not been a price issue, it's been elderly, concerned about dragging the cart out. So I'm just concerned of the perception when almost 50% replied that they want bags, and then we're going to disregard comments. I've had a hard time, and so I don't know, and I know it's tough going back and forth and trying to find a solution. We were in another couple of weeks or a month, just go to the organization because we're going to be too late for this year anyway. We're almost getting to that point.
So that's the problem with the trucks with the sign iron tippers. If they keep their current trucks the way they are, I mean, picking up the bags and the carts would certainly be possible, but then the carts become more cost ineffective for them to use because it takes a lot more time for them to dump on the rear tippers with the carts than it does with the side iron tippers. So it's a balance, and I still want to be mindful that the residents should be paying a competitive rate for this and us having an organized collection system. Balancing that with the needs of the haulers to ensure that rate works for them. I mean, they can promise a certain rate. If it isn't cost effective for them, they're not going to be in business very long. So we're not going to be able to have them. That service isn't going to be provided. So we still have to be fair to the haulers in terms of their cost effectiveness and the service delivery that we're asking them to do.
If we just keep it like it is and reorganize for next year, what does that mean? What does that involve?
We would need to initiate that decision relatively quickly because statutorily there's at least a 6-month waiting period on that.
Because I've heard from a lot of people.
I don't know if in a reorganization we're going to get. I still don't know if providing a hybrid system of bags for as many users as we believe that would be out there is going to be. We're going to get a cost-effective, our proposal back from the people interested in providing the service. So.
I don't really like the idea of the hybrid system. I think we should either have carts or not have carts. Have both is just going to be too confusing for everybody. It's going to be
What's confusing?
I think it's pretty simple. Either you have a bag or you have a can. I don't,
Well, as far as the trucks, didn't we ask them to get a truck with an arm on it so they can dump those? So are they gonna use the truck with the arm to dump those, or are they gonna have a person to pick up the bags and throw them in the truck? You know, for the people, yeah, it's easy, you either have a bag or a can, but for the haulers, you know, these guys that are hauling away our trash, they either are gonna have a truck that will pick that dumpster up and dump it, or they're gonna have a human being picking up the bag. Why are we gonna ask them to do both? It doesn't seem
It's not
cost effective to them, it doesn't seem fair to them.
A lot of residents have asked for that, and I don't think it's our business to tell them which kind of truck to get. If they would like to provide the service to the city, it's up to them how they would like to do that. If they want to get an armed truck, good. If they don't, good. If we were looking at it for efficiency, then it would be a city-owned operation. That we buy our own garbage truck and have our own people that will be out picking it up. Otherwise, I don't think it's really our concern.
I think we need to take care of the customer. I mean, I realize the garbage haulers, they're there to make money. There's no doubt about it. But are they working for us or are we working for them? Is my question. Are they telling us what we gotta do or what we don't have to do? Or, I worked on a garbage truck where we picked up bags and we also hooked the canister on the back and dumped it. We didn't have the arm, hooked it in the back and dumped it. I've had more calls about, are you gonna get rid of bags? Aren't we gonna have bags anymore? I think we need to take care of the customer, and the city is the customer. People that live in the city are the customers. That's,
I hear everything that you're saying, and this is why it's been a struggle the last couple months to come up with an equitable solution that's both fair in terms of cost and providing the system that, you know, partially of what we've heard in the results of the survey. Now, we asked them, you know, based on these prices, which is somewhat indicating to me in the survey of a cost breakdown in terms of what they need and want. It was less in my thought concern about carrying the bag to the corner for pickup. But I know that there were comments that were made about that. I heard them as people came in and responded to the survey. They were written down as comments on the survey. You know, it certainly was a factor. But in my own understanding, talking with what Royalton does and seeing how Waste Management, you know, probably the largest garbage hauler in the country, if they're picking up a majority of their clientele with a sidearm tipping truck, it was so motivating for them to want to not have to pick up the bags separate outside of a can, that they made an effort to give people that can and not charge them anymore for it.
We
So
don't have waste management here. We don't have local providers.
so I
You know, right now, these bags, just another question here, they have a 30-pound limit on them, a hauler, if that's what they want. How about the cans, 30-pound limit?
No, they're not. I mean, the weight of the cans are to the structural capacity of the cans. They're generally over 100 to 200 pounds, depending on what the can type that you're using. Some of the smaller ones maybe less if you're using less quality can. But it's still it is moving from a weight-based mechanism potentially, because not everybody uses the full weight of the bag all the time, to a volume-based method based on the volume of the cart. In theory, you'd like for both measures to be equal, but they're not. Law of averages is going to tell me that people are going to generate about 85 to 90 pounds of garbage per resident per month. That's just what we've seen. We've tracked the tickets for an entire year. That's what it was. I don't see that changing, even if we're providing a cart system versus a bag system. There were those that said, if you have a 64-gallon cart and they can dump whatever they want, maybe they would be inclined to recycle less. I don't know. Maybe that, and then that drives up our costs. Because that is paid for by weight at the landfill, so.
To me, it's hard to understand how somebody could say it's gonna be so much harder to take these containers out there. They have wheels on them. You can roll them there. I'd sooner roll 60 pounds than drag 2 bags out at 30 pounds each.
Yeah, but we don't weigh, you know, like 90 pounds and are 85 years old. Not to mention winter.
Yeah, that's an issue, I suppose.
Is it feasible to entertain having one drive-by fee and let the consumer work out the bags or cans that they're hauling? Haulers?
That's the haulers providing the
It makes sense?
Car
It makes sense?
I think if you go to 35 gallon can, it's a 30 gallon bag.